Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of A Bunch of Marks. I am your host, Brian Daniels, and we have all of us here today for this episode. Joining me on my immediate right is my wife, Raven.
Hi.
We got my podcast tag team partner, Josh Thundershaver here.
Hey, yo, how's it going?
It's going good.
Mhm.
And welcome back, Rocco Jerome.
Hey man, it's me, Rocco.
It's you. You're Rocco. That's you.
I
Uh,
am.
guys, real quick, wanted to let everybody know, in case you might have missed it on our last episode, we are going to be at Squared Circle Expo 6 now, right? Yeah, 6. I had to think for a second. There's been like a lot of them now. Squared Circle Expo 6 in Indianapolis, Indiana at the Wyndham West Hotel right by the Indianapolis International Airport. And the dates for that, let me pull those up. It will be the 27th and the 28th of March. And we're going to be there. We're going to have a booth this time. So you'll be able to come, say hello to us, meet us. We'll sign autographs for free. Rocco might charge though.
Speak for
Maybe
yourself.
Raven will charge. I don't know. But I guess the biggest mark of all is being one for yourself, right? But we may have some other things to give away, maybe some stickers, things like that. We're gonna have our podcasting equipment, hopefully, if it's working right. Had some issues today. We'll have that there with all of our mics, doing some interviews with people while we're there. Hopefully, some of the the wrestlers that are there, and talking with some of the attendees. And if you want to go and get your tickets, just search up Squared Circle Expo online, and you'll be able to go purchase your passes right now. Highly recommend that show. We always have a good time while we're there. Um, so it is the spooky season, and on this episode, we're all going to give our thoughts or talk about or react to each other's thoughts on like spooky characters, maybe some storylines and things in professional wrestling. I can think of a few. Um, like specific wrestlers, maybe some matches, maybe some pay-per-views we liked watching that had to do with that sort of thing. But first, this is the last episode of October, and we're kind of squeezing this one out there. Since we just had an episode a little like earlier this week. But it is our last episode. And if you don't know what we do on our last episode every month, we have Raven react to a match that she has never seen before. And that's what we do on the second episode of the month. How this works is at all time there's always going to be 6 matches. Well, she gets a match, matches to pick from. I cannot talk for some reason. Jesus Christ.
Like what's happening?
Uh,
6 matches.
Raven's gonna always have, or she'll get 6 matches to choose from. All of the matches she has never seen before. One of the matches is a bad match. One of the matches is a match I have also never seen. So we'll be reacting to it together. Which that match happened to be the one she did last month, which was Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson at Dynasty at AEW 2024. But regardless, all the matches are matches she's never seen before, and she's going to be reacting to. And tonight, she only had 1 match left. So she's eliminated her first set of 6. That means the board resets. She'll get to randomly choose another one. And so we're going to all be curating.
Oh, yeah, we got to do that.
Next 6 matches.
Yeah.
On the docket tonight, if you've been playing along by process of elimination, you'll know what kind of match this is.
Mm-hmm.
You won't know what match this is. I don't know if Josh remembers what match this is, but this match took place. This match took place in 2004 at Madison Square Garden in New York City at WrestleMania 20. It's 21 years ago. This match took place between Brock Lesnar and Bill Goldberg. I hate these two guys.
God damn it.
The only saving grace in this entire match was the special guest referee, Stone Cold Stephen Austin.
No, the only saving grace was after the match when he gave Goldberg a stunner.
We'll get there. Little fun facts. I always try to do, little fun tidbits. There were 20,000 people in attendance for this WrestleMania. That really is not a lot, all things considered. with how big WrestleMania is now, some 21 years later. Brock Lesnar was 26 at the time of this match, and Bill Goldberg was 37. Stone Cold Steve Austin was 39. This match lasted 13 minutes. You had Howard Finkel as your ring announcer. Rest in peace. I miss that voice. Such an iconic voice. This celebrated the 20th anniversary of WrestleMania because where it all the motto for this one was where it all begins again. Because the very first WrestleMania was in that same building, Madison Square Garden.
Which Vince loved MSG. That was always
absolutely that was the home base of pro wrestling for WWE. I've always felt that way anyway.
One of the few endearing things about Vince McMahon was that he thought it was just the coolest place on earth.
Of course. This match is considered to be by far one of the worst WrestleMania matches of all time.
Yeah.
You tried to tell me that it was considered the best match of the year.
I said match of the year. I didn't say best.
Oh, yeah,
it was a match of the year. It was the worst match of the year of 2004. So Raven, what do you? I want to say, what do you want to talk about? But
so,
how do you feel about
this? The bad match?
Was this the bad match?
I couldn't remember at first if I had already seen the bad match or not, and I knew immediately when they said who it was going to be that it was the bad match. So I was not necessarily looking forward to this. I even asked Brian if I could my reaction be to take a nap while it was on, and that would be my reaction. But it was just awful. I mean, I'm not a fan of either one of those two people.
Bill Goldberg.
And Steve Austin, at first, like Brian said, I was just like, oh, well, maybe this wouldn't, he was like, I don't know if he'd ever reffed before, if he'd ever done no personality in this at all. No, he didn't even react to anything. It was just so bad. It was so bad. I was wondering when, I haven't. I go between not having any words and just not saying what I want to say because it's just awful.
So throughout the entire course of this match, the audience is absolutely disinterested.
Oh my gosh, when they were chanting, "This match sucks!"
They were chanting, "This match sucks," along with "You sold out" chants. Which, by the way, I'll tell you a reason why I wanted to save that for this. So if you don't know, which you don't know, and if you do know and you're listening, you know.
Back in 2004, now you know.
Back in 2004. No, I meant to say that.
Okay.
If you do know, you know. If you don't know, now you're about to know. And if you don't know,
I was quoting Biggie Smalls.
Yeah. But the reason they were chanting "You sold out" was because both of these men were this was actually going to be their last match in WWE as they were leaving the company.
Yeah.
Neither opponent
didn't happen.
Wanted to leave. They didn't want this to be a very intricate match with a lot of moves. It was rumored at the time. True. It was rumored that Goldberg was considering going back to the NFL, even though he was as old as he was. And the rumor for Brock Lesnar was that he was headed to the UFC.
No, false. I heard them say that Brock was going to go to the NFL.
Or Brock was going to NFL.
Yeah.
And then Goldberg
he had a short stint at NFL before UFC, you might recall.
Yeah, he played for the Minnesota Vikings for a little bit.
Yeah.
But
the crowd was chanting "No, goodbye."
Yeah.
It was funny. Brock was flipping them off.
I have not seen this match since I watched it live in 2004.
Yeah.
You had to watch it again.
I have thought of this match a few times. Never a good thought.
I hope that doesn't happen to me.
So the thing about this match is, I have never cared about Block. Okay, I'm my ESPN. Brock Lesnar.
We've made fun of that so many times that now he's just calling him that.
I've never cared about Brock Lesnar. I know that a lot of people that if you're an OVW fan, you're probably gonna really not like me for that. Some will understand. He's a big deal down here in these parts where we live anyway. Raven and I do, because he's one of the Minnesota Wrecking Crew. Him and Shelton Benjamin, OVW. OVW alumni.
But I've never
I've
really heard people talk about him when we go to OBW. So
yeah, I don't know. It's a thing, but I never had cared about Brock Lesnar. Never really was a guy who I don't know. I have only cared about when WWE does that thing where it's big
Yeah,
guy
he's the
must be
big guy.
strong. And Vince McMahon loves big guys.
Vince
Um,
McMahon sure did love his big guys.
he did,
I mean, he does. He's
and
not dead yet. We shouldn't talk about him like that. I mean, fuck him. But
loved. I'm using past tense, but no. But
Bro, I will
Vince
proudly say
McMahon,
that Vince McMahon loves him some big guys.
he loves him some big men. But this was a match that they did not. This is surprisingly, this is not the only time these two wrestled each other in WWE. They had a second match, and don't
oh
worry,
God.
I will not throw that match in a future match for you because that match only lasted 86 seconds.
Yeah.
I
Um,
mean, you can throw that in there. That'd be fine.
with Goldberg, or with I think it was Lesnar getting the win that time and
I think this one
squashing.
was only like 15 minutes, but it was way too long. It was like
Um,
12
yeah.
minutes too long.
Yeah, this is by far and away when I think of a bad match. This is probably my immediate go-to. And there are some very stinker ones out there. Don't worry.
Oh, I
Don't
agree.
worry. You are going to watch the best of the worst. Or the best. Yeah, right. Um, Raven, any more thoughts about this utterly awful
No,
wrestling match?
I really just want to move on.
Okay. So
Like I'm just
fair. That's
I
totally
don't
fair.
like I said, I don't like either one of them.
Sure. I don't blame you.
Mhm.
It was just,
Fucking
I mean,
terrible
as
match.
that aside, me not liking them aside, like it was a bad match. Like it
It
really was
was.
awful.
Mhm.
They
Yep.
didn't do anything.
Is it fair to say now that you know what a actual like bad match in WWE is?
Yes.
Okay. So now you have something to compare to when you see other bad matches. And then now you can say, is it that bad? Because now you've watched this.
Right.
I've seen some bad matches.
Believe it or
This
not,
was by far the worst one I've ever seen.
believe it or not, on the all-time, I think it was the PWI list of bad matches. This actually is number 9 on the top 10. Yes, that's right. There are actually worse matches than this, and there are. I've seen those too.
Well, there's definitely worse matches than this. I mean, it's
Please tell me the Living
No,
Dead Girl versus Christy Lynn is number one on the list.
I'm not gonna say because I don't want to ruin it for Raven over here because I don't want to
Well, I'm
spoil.
looking this list up.
I don't want to spoil this. No, you can't. You can't. You're not allowed to. I don't want to spoil this moment of you getting to witness
I don't want to
truly
watch
awful matches.
matches worse than
I don't know that there's
Um,
worse matches at WrestleMania that didn't involve a celebrity, though.
that's
Mhm.
true. That's true.
Like two
That is
actual
Also very true.
workers going at it. This might be about
Mhm.
as bad as it ever gets. And the funny
I would.
thing about this match
Yeah.
is,
Yeah. Go for it. Yeah.
if you're thinking of it in terms of what the characters are, the character that Brock Lesnar is versus the character of Goldberg, that is one of those deals where it would be awesome. Like if we played that out on a video
Sure.
game, it could be an
Yeah.
awesome match. But the fact
Yeah.
of the matter is that Goldberg is a huge hack and never learned to wrestle. So if the
Right.
match involves him not just squashing someone, he literally can't do it.
there was one cool moment in during the match when Goldberg picked up Brock like a sack of potatoes over his head and then tossed him down. Like he really did pick him up like it was nothing. And Brock's a big
Okay.
guy. We've talked about that.
Okay.
So
Goldberg's
that
definitely
was
strong.
that was the only
Yeah.
thing he did in this match though. Like that was the only I mean, and it was kind of cool. But
The
that
thing
was
that I find sort of offensive in a way about both of these guys is that they're a couple of just total meatheads.
yes.
And wrestling isn't really about a big tough guy versus a big tough guy when it's at its best, I think. You got to have somebody that can cut a promo, that's clever
Gotta have
enough,
some substance.
some element of showbiz, you know?
Yeah.
Neither one of those guys really have. Like I remember like when Brock first came in, the big thing that really cemented him as a big deal, even after he jobbed or he'd put both the Hardy Boys under at once and Hogan even
Yeah.
jumped to him like on SmackDown. Austin left the company. He didn't want to put him over on a random Thursday.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but he defeated Rock at SummerSlam, and that was basically like the last time of the old Rock. Like he came back with his head shaved and his tribal
Oh yeah.
tattoo, and he
Oh
became
yeah.
like another guy. Like he kind of like killed the original Rock in a way.
Yes.
I was a huge Rock mark, and I remember just being like, man, so this guy who just reminds me of people I went to high school with and hated, who just comes off like there's like he has like an IQ somewhere in the mid 40s. Like this is not the kind of guy I watch wrestling to watch, just some big dumb
Right.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
head.
the only other thing I liked about this, like I said, came after the match when Stone Cold gave Goldberg a stunner, and then it just made me miss Kevin Owens. So that was it.
I like the
Yeah.
fact that the crowd so thoroughly rejected it, which is one of
Oh,
those great things that you can get at
from the
WrestleMania,
beginning, like from the very beginning, they were just not into it. I mean,
Yeah,
that
WrestleMania
Yeah.
tends to be people that go to WrestleMania are huge wrestling fans, and they
They will
decide for
let you know.
themselves what the
y-
programming is going to be. See also Hulk Hogan having to turn
yes,
face against The Rock,
yeah.
and Rock turning heel on the fly because the crowd in Canada just decided that that's what they wanted to see out of the match, and those are two guys who say what you will about Hogan, but he was definitely somebody who understood the game of pro wrestling, and neither one of these guys necessarily do. So
Oh, not at all.
I love
Yeah.
the fact that the crowd rejected it for those reasons.
Oh, from the
There's
very
been a
beginning.
seismic change in wrestling, and this is something that I think we should talk about at some point. But it kind of went from being like NASCAR people to being, like trailer park kind of people to being more like geeks, quite frankly. Like I
Hmm.
think UFC kind of took the place of where all those types of people are.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. You're right.
Oh
so
yeah.
no
You're right.
longer, even by the 20th, 21st WrestleMania, you already at that point had people that weren't game for just like a couple of big dudes slapping into each other with very little work rate,
Hmm.
you know?
Raven, what else did you
Yeah.
have to say about?
I don't remember. It's fine.
Yeah, I just for me, I for both these guys, I never was a big fan. Like I never, I just like never cared. Like that's why, like, to kind of tie it to the present, I I know that there's a lot of other reasons people don't like Brock Lesnar, and I understand that completely. And I'm not here to like negate those. We don't need to get into it, but if you know, you know. But outside of that, even if even if those are not true, and those things are not, he didn't do those things he's accused of. I don't give a shit. It wasn't even
Oh,
about
you
that for
haven't
me.
liked him
I've
forever.
never liked him. Like
No.
I don't care. I don't care if he was a genuinely good guy. I just couldn't get into him. Is he just it's just his it's that whole, I want to say, build of wrestler. I big guy have to destroy people. And I think that's why I struggle with Braun Breaker, because I mean I'm getting into liking Braun Breaker, but it's those guys that feel so one dimensional,
What do
right?
you think of the
Yeah.
Steiners?
Just so one dimensional. Like
Sports, Braun
that's
is
it
one
for
of
them.
them.
Yeah, that's just
The
it for them.
Steiner guy or no?
Like at anytime Brock comes out, what do you know? What do you know you're going to get with Brock Lesnar? He's going to come out, destroy people, squash people, F5 somebody maybe 5 or 6 times like he did with John Cena, and that's what you get. What you see is what you get. It's the same bullshit with Goldberg. Gonna come in, gonna go and fucking get walked down to the ring with
Kick Bret
security,
Hart in
make
the
a big
head,
deal, and then
Well,
uh,
and the way that are you guys
it's
hearing me,
just
by the
that.
way?
Yeah, yeah, we
Yeah.
got you. Yeah, we hear.
Uh, what do you think of the Steiners? Probably not a Steiner guy either, right?
No, I'm not a big Steiner
No,
guy.
I'm
I,
not
I
gonna.
I was a big
Oh,
Steiner guy back in the day when I was a kid, but no, not
sure.
so much.
Well,
No.
and I mean that was basically what made Goldberg into the monster in terms of him having no respect or real understanding of what wrestling is.
Yeah.
The way the WCW was set up, like between Goldberg and Lesnar, I have to say that I have more respect for Lesnar as a worker because at least he could and can work. He actually cared enough about the business.
Sure.
It probably
Yeah,
had a
I'll
lot to
give it.
do. Like I wonder if Goldberg had been around Cornette in his early career rather than just the WCW guys that were like, go out there and kill him.
I
You
I
know,
think to be fair
Maybe,
too,
yeah.
I think to be fair too, Rocco, the big difference between Lesnar and Goldberg is Lesnar is a Division 1A NCAA wrestler.
true. Yeah, there's that
So
too.
I mean that he came in to the business with
Mm.
that. So
Yeah, physicality much greater.
he
Whereas
already had
Goldberg just had a look.
yeah, and yeah, like and Goldberg just had a had a look to him
Yeah.
and was a big built guy,
All the
right?
guys who
So
early on were dealing with Goldberg and didn't smarten him up,
yeah,
I think those guys all really have a debt to pay to society, to be honest with you, because that's why he was like that. I think about
Yeah.
there was a behind the scenes thing after Kevin Owens jobbed out to him, either at or on the way to WrestleMania.
yeah,
And during that period, Goldberg's whole thing and Goldberg's backstage persona was pretty much like George Costanza. Like, if you really want to see like the truth of what that guy is, he's just like a nebbishy, neurotic jerk off, basically.
yeah. Goldberg, yeah,
But
he carries himself
after,
around like he's got a chip on his shoulder
yeah, but in
all the time.
reality, it's like, every big ego is just an overdress insecurity, man. I mean, there's something up with
Yeah,
this guy. After Kevin Owens put him over, he's, showing his son the belt. And he's like, and this is totally behind the scenes. This is no longer any part of a wrestling program. And he says to his kid, it's got Kevin Owens's like stuff on the side of the belts. And he's like, it's going to look a lot better when we get this stupid shit off of it.
oh my
And it's
god,
like, man, this guy just did you the favor of all favors. Like,
yeah,
he could have made you tap out in real life inside of 30 seconds. And you're
yeah,
going to talk about him like that in front of your kid.
yeah.
Just not a good person.
No,
I really
not at
hate
all,
that.
not at all.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys have anything else to say about this,
No.
if not, we're gonna go ahead and move right
Already
along
made the Bret
into.
Hart reference.
There's never too many Bret Hart references about Goldberg, but outside of that, we're gonna move on past. Um, we're gonna get into our main topic of discussion on this episode. So, as I had said at the beginning of this show, we it is the spooky season, and of course, the supernatural, if you will, the spooky, is no stranger to the world of pro wrestling. And I know most of
Oh
us are
yeah.
familiar with that. In some ways, I know Raven not so much. She might be a little bit of an outsider to this, but you'll be able to. I still want to hear your thoughts about some things. So feel free to chime in. Don't feel like you can't join in on this conversation. It's for everybody. For me, I would say the biggest one would have to be the Undertaker, right?
Oh
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Undertaker's sort of the gold
That's
standard.
without a doubt,
mhm.
I remember being a kid. There was that allure, uh, about him. He had such a big presence about him, and he kind of carried that. But
He was scary
you can't
just
really
by
say his
existing.
entire career because he decided to make a massive career change when he became the American Badass, right, and was driving around
Hmm.
the bike.
He got his soul
Uh,
back.
but right, but just him. But I think what really helped with him was Paul Bearer.
Yeah. Oh
Uh,
yes,
I
yes.
mean, just being able to really shoulder that he needed a mouthpiece, and
Hmm.
it wasn't gonna be Taker.
Yeah.
Although when he did speak, it was very, the low voice. Which,
Listen to the
by the way,
taker.
when when
Mhm.
when Mark Calloway, that's his real name for those who don't know, um,
Gasp.
started doing podcasts like with like Stone Cold's podcast, I did not realize how much different he sounds when
Hmm.
you listen to him now, like because he's now, he's not taking an active part in the ring anymore. Um, he's doing all these other things. His 6 Feet Under podcast. He's doing the LFG show, and he's just doing other things. And he did his One Dead Man show, which I went to, which I thought
Which,
was
by the way, he waited until he was done,
done. Yeah,
done performing
yeah.
before he did that. Like, he'd
Which
already
I got to
retired.
give him some big. I got to give some big props for that.
Very
He
nice.
Yeah,
could
he stuck
maintain
to
that.
it.
Yeah, he really stuck to it, man. I mean,
Well, and
if you
I
want
think what
to,
it comes down to is that he just made a real commitment to that gimmick, and he's got a lot of
yeah,
charisma. And
yeah,
as far as guys with gimmicks that were handed to them go, it's pretty much him and Gold Dust in terms of people who really made chicken shit into chicken salad.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
with Taker,
you're absolutely true.
he molded himself into that role, and he did a really good job. And talking about just kayfabe, I mean, you can't really have a character like that now, right? With kayfabe being just such a thing of the
Yeah, it's
past.
always the wink and a nod. I
Oh,
think the
it's a
closest
wacky
we have
story.
now is
Like his,
Aleister Black. And like
yeah,
Aleister Black is a legit Satanist. So I think
yeah.
he is the guy that he plays a little bit more than, Mark Calloway, who is kind of a, you
Well,
know,
I don't know. Well, have you seen what's going on with Aleister Black and Zelina Vega right now?
I don't watch WWE's programming because I
So
stepped away
yeah,
from
that's
those.
not a bad decision. They basically not to get too sidetracked, but they basically gave Karrion Kross and Scarlett's gimmick now over to Zelina
Oh,
and,
so Selena,
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I've always wondered what the basis of their relationship is because if you're married to a Satanist, I think you pretty much have to convert, right? Like, you
really.
know, you
Not
can't
as
just like when the goblet of blood comes your way at the dinner table, you can't just say no, not for me.
Oh no, thanks. I
like
had some in the car.
I'm so
yeah,
yeah, I'm
right.
sticking
But
to
yeah, but you can see that with House. But the thing about it is with Taker, it was for me as a kid, it was a lot of kids were afraid of him. Like I remember like
Yeah,
when they would show him and they pan, kids would be crying and shit when he came out. He was so
yep.
scary to kids.
That's me. I was kids.
Um, you were kids, yeah, and he just like I thought what where the plot got really wild was when they did the whole corporate ministry thing.
yeah, right.
Oh
And they
yes,
had
evil
the
business.
the wild where they put you don't know this Raven, where they put Stephanie McMahon on the fucking Undertaker's like fucking symbol and they like crucified her and shit and put her on
Be
Oh,
the
very
dude, that was
careful to say
crazy.
it
And Stone
wasn't
Cold
crucifix.
saved out and saved her.
yeah,
It's not a crucifix. It was a symbol.
or a symbol,
Look at
yeah,
that symbol.
but they
Oh
crucified her
my
to it
gosh, what a
to the
symbol
symbol,
that is.
yeah,
Yeah, you said symbol.
but it's just but
Well, no, what
Taker
I'm
was
saying is that they wanted to be very careful in the programming to not accidentally offend
oh I
anyone.
know oh
That
yeah
was one bridge they were not willing to cross during the Attitude Era.
for sure yeah among all the things they did cross back in the that's in there.
That's the line. That's where the
I
line
know,
is.
right? Isn't that wild? No, but I just
Wow.
it was Taker. I mean, what can you not say about the guy? Hall of Famer, legendary. Um, he had that allure. He fit the definition of the supernatural. That was really, I think, at least for the three of us, for me, Josh, and Rocco, this was kind of our. I don't know. Well, I don't know, Rocco. Maybe not for you, but
No, yeah, I dig
that
Taker, man. I mean,
that whole
a
into
guy
the
who really,
supernatural
I mean, and
wrestling.
he evolved well, I mean, and
Yeah.
it was cool how I don't know whose idea this was, but I always thought it was brilliant when they started to say, like, listen, like in the Attitude Era, they were like, listen, this dude is just fucked up. Like, he believes his gimmick. Like, he's not a warlock. He just thinks he is, you know. And then when the biker thing happened, like I loved that. I was the first wrestling show I ever went to was where that debuted at Judgment
Oh,
Day
neat.
or at the guard at
Hmm.
not the Gardens,
Yeah.
whatever. Well, it was I mean, it was. I've never been in a group of people that went more buck fucking wild than when he came out. It was unbelievable.
Reborn.
It was really just like top level. And
Yeah.
yeah, no, I've always, when we see the world differently, me and Mark Calloway. But no, I've got a lot of respect for that guy. I can always get excited about the Undertaker.
Oh yeah.
I
I'm
think he's one
sure.
of the all-time greats. It really is.
Because there was his like really last era, before the COVID era when he was really showing up on a regular basis. That was when I was going to, random shows with a bunch of friends, and they would never advertise that the Undertaker would be there. You would just kind of like get to shit your pants when you heard dong,
Oh yeah, dude.
dong, and the lights went out, and that was always such a great time.
Mm.
Because me and my friends were like, "Oh shit, Taker's here."
When he came out of Judgment Day, it was like, I mean, it was fucking
Originally, yeah,
nuts. It was nuts. I mean,
yep,
he came out on that bike, and it was like, nobody knew he was going to do that.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk
I
about
mean,
that for a second. That was Judgment Day 2000, if memory serves me.
uh-huh. For
And
the
yeah,
first wrestling show I ever went to, it was
yeah, that was
incredible.
that was that was in Louisville. Yeah, and he came out. and we hadn't seen him in a while. And I remember just thinking like, where's Taker at? It's just like we do with anybody else right now, right? In any promotion that's gone for a minute. And then
Yeah.
and then like they did the keep rolling, roll like fucking the
That was
Fred
before
Durst thing.
that, though. I
And I
think.
was
I don't
like,
think he had any music like that yet.
I think he had some music. He had something. He came out
I
to some.
don't think. I think. Well, we'd have to review the tape, but I think
That's
it
fine.
was
That's
just
fine.
like
Yeah, but
you heard a noise that marked it
sure,
as a.
sure.
It was
But
Kid Rock,
regardless.
American Badass. Sorry, I was sitting
No,
over
I
here
don't
having
know
Oh
a
if it was
yeah,
coughing
that.
Kid
fit.
Rock. Kid
That
Rock.
came, but I don't
There it
think
is.
yet.
But he came out and I remember just watching that and I'm like, the fuck is this? Like what?
Oh,
Because
dude. I mean, it
that was
was.
such a complete like different.
Different.
And then I'm like, are they gonna call him something else? Because like you can't be the Undertaker and be like that, right? Like, that's weird.
I
That's like a
love him.
completely
I love
different.
him.
But it worked. It worked out for him, man.
Yeah.
He became Big Evil. You
Yeah,
know?
well, it was more who he actually is. He's more. I mean,
Yeah,
that was the closest
that
it came
was
to kind of dropping the gimmick, but
that was more
I
about
wanted
himself.
them to. I don't think they ever quite did this, although they kind of hinted at it that like combine the two gimmicks. So he's like Ghost Rider or
Yeah.
something. That
Oh
would
Yeah.
yeah.
have been fucking
I
great.
can dig that.
And there
He's
was
I
now
can
he
dig
was
Johnny
that.
actually
Blaze.
also like this is how much I love the Undertaker. Like I'm getting all jazzed up just remembering this. As much of a rock mark as I was, he had a moment with the Rock where the Rock was
Yeah.
like at the height of his like Rudy Poo, candy ass, monkey
Yeah.
ass. And Taker was like, you know what? You can say what you want to about a monkey's ass or whatever the hell you're talking about. I'm going to kill you in the ring. If I want to kill you, I could. And it was just like the straight up, just like, no, I'll beat the shit out of you. And
I
he
remember the
stopped the Rock.
promos. I remember the promos where he would like call the ring his yard, and he's like, "I'm the
Yeah,
biggest dog in this yard," and I'm
yeah.
like, "Okay, I kind of dig
Yeah.
this shit." Like,
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
he earned it, man. And everybody knew that he was this locker room leader too. Like
yeah,
anybody who was paying attention to any of that stuff. Like there was the whole thing of like, if Shawn Michaels wasn't going to do business the way he was supposed to at WrestleMania 16 against Austin, that Taker was like wrapping up his fist in the back because he was ready
oh yeah,
to knock Shawn out if he didn't drop the belt like he was supposed to. I
yeah,
mean, like, and they've even talked about that since now that he's got that podcast.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I dig Taker, man. A lot of
Oh
just
yeah.
great lore with the guy, a lot of like good storyline stuff, and no, Taker's great.
Yeah, that is actually one thing that I wish I would like have been able to experience live
Oh, you
is
would have loved it.
oh my
It was
gosh, yeah,
nuts.
I love Undertaker. I
It
mean,
was nuts.
like I love Damian Priest. He's one of my favorites, and he idolized and looked up to Undertaker. He
He's the
took a lot
bisexual Undertaker.
yeah, he
Yeah.
took a lot from
Bisexual
him,
Undertaker.
and so at was it WrestleMania 40 when Undertaker came out there and like surprised The
Yeah,
Rock?
yeah.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
when that all happened, yeah, with Roman and Cody.
yeah, that
Yeah.
was amazing. That was amazing. So that is one thing that I wish I could have been able to experience
Yeah,
Undertaker in his heyday,
for
and
sure.
be in the crowd when the
I
lights went out.
remember, I remember going to SummerSlam in Indianapolis when it was Edge versus Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match. That was my first time seeing a Hell in a Cell match in person,
Oh
and
man,
I
yeah.
and I had seen like Taker in person, but when you see him at a pay per view, and you guys know this is true, it's like 10 times bigger and better. Like
Yeah.
the entrances go so much harder. I think that's
Yeah.
one thing I miss about like Taker. One of the things I missed the most, like you knew, like I think one of the cool things was like when Taker was so active in WWE, you always waited for WrestleMania, right? For for
Oh yeah,
for
he was
for
definitely
two
gonna be
reasons.
there.
For two reasons. One was who was going to beat the streak, right? But two, uh, what's Undertaker's entrance going to be like?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
one of the most memorable ones for me was when he fought Kane, and Kane had like took the mask off, right, at this point.
Mhm.
And there were some vignettes that like, or not some vignettes, but there were some promos where like Taker had been gone for a long time, and there was one like where he was in a casket and like it struck and it like got put on fire, and Kane like didn't believe that like Taker was alive or back or whatever, and so like Taker comes out and Kane's like, "You're not real, you're not real." He walks up to like he closes his eyes and he walks up to Taker, and the moment, dude, you have to go back and watch this. It's
Yeah.
actually pretty fucking cool. The moment he puts finger to chest on Taker, Taker just starts fucking him up, dude. Like just beats his.
Yeah.
And they had done like brother versus brother before at Mania, but not like this. It was
Oh
actually kind
yeah.
of funny because Taker just beats ass. But yeah, Taker, man. Let's move on from Taker. We can talk all day about the Undertaker.
That's
What's
a
up?
good way
Taker.
to transition to Kane.
Yes, who do you got? What's a what's your supernatural spooky
What's to say
high?
we should talk about Kane next. He's
Kane.
right
Yeah,
there adjacent to Taker. You know,
yeah,
he
Kane,
was
man.
Kane's brother.
That's gotta
He
be
was a
Kane.
big red monster. You know.
Yeah.
Um,
The thing about Kane, I wish he had never taken the mask off.
Yeah,
I
same here.
feel that,
I
yeah,
agree.
like I think a lot of people agree with that. Like,
Oh,
so
and
Raven,
like
if you don't know, to kind of educate Raven a bit, so Kane is Undertaker's brother. I think he kind of in character.
Yeah.
pretend
Um,
brother.
and he made his WWE debut in a Hell in a Cell match. He came up through the ring,
Yeah,
and grabbed the Undertaker, and there's a famous line where JR goes, "That's gotta be Kane."
Because they both came in.
Um, and he ended
it's
up.
got to be Kane.
That was when Paul Bearer, who was Taker's manager for like a long time, betrayed
Oh
him.
yes, yes.
Yeah. And he betrayed Undertaker. It was a big fucking deal. And so it
Hmm.
started this big program where like Kane came out. So Kane had a mask for like ever,
And didn't
and
talk.
and never ever spoke. He was the absolute silent antagonist, if you
Well, and
will.
his
Never
face was
talked,
supposed to be fucked up too.
and his face was all supposed to be fucked up. The whole thing was
Yeah,
is like there was they had a family fire or some shit was the lore,
yeah.
and Taker got out.
Wrestling at its most soap opera-esque.
Yeah, it was the craziest shit. And this wasn't like wrestling had tons of lore behind it. It was
Yeah.
Yeah.
insane. And Undertaker got out and he got out unscathed, but like they went to save Kane and Kane's face got all fucking scarred and shit, so he had to like permanently wear a mask. Otherwise you wouldn't recognize it. So they played this whole thing up. And then like early 2000s, they started giving Kane more of a personality and they had him use this fucking like little voice thing like the like that people have when they have a hole in their neck,
Oh
Yeah.
yes,
had a little voice box
the
where
box,
where
the
the
voice
Rock made fun
box.
the Rock made fun of him.
The Rock said things we're not allowed to say
Yeah, we
anymore.
should say it
No,
on the show. I'll have to show you
Yeah.
the video.
I
It's
don't
pretty
want to
funny.
say what The Rock said.
But they
I'm
gave
47
Kane
years old.
they
I
started
don't.
giving Kane like stupid comedic bits that kind of really just like tore the it was like taking a big chunk out of the armor of like what Kane was supposed to be was this big they call him the big
uh,
red machine.
I
He
don't
came
remember
in,
what year it was.
yeah,
Um, but the thing that killed Kane for me entirely
yeah,
was it was a TLC pay-per-view. I remember watching
okay,
the pay-per-view and where I was at.
yeah,
He tombstone pile drove Rey Mysterio, and it looked like he murdered him. And then they came in
yeah.
and did a close-up shot, and there's like a good 2 foot gap between Ray's head and the
Between
mat.
Ken and the mat, and there's like no, yeah.
Oh,
And
you
it's like
got
it
me.
would have been fine if they hadn't have like gone in and instant
Zoomed
replay, but they did, and it
in
killed it
on it.
for me.
What really killed it though was when they had him
Fucking-
lose to RVD for the mask. So he had a match
Yeah.
against RVD on Monday Night Raw, and I don't remember what RVD would have. I think maybe it was for the title or something because RVD was champion. I think at this point, and RVD won.
Yeah.
And the stipulation was like if RVD won, Kane had to take his mask off. So they had Kane's like back to the camera. I'll never forget this. I watched this whole thing live,
Hmm.
and uh, a lot of people didn't realize who Kane was because a lot of us were younger. We
Yeah.
didn't know that Kane had already been somebody in the WWE.
Isaac Yankem. He was
Yeah,
a
he was a
dentist.
fucking dentist. He had a this.
Yeah.
I'll have to show you pictures of this. He had this really shitty dentist like gimmick.
His name was
Another horror
Isaac
character.
Yankum.
Isaac Yankem.
Vince
Yeah,
Yeah,
McMahon.
because he's yanking teeth out.
100% of Vince McMahon idea.
100% Vince McMahon thing.
There's a lot of
Absolutely.
gimmicks in the 80s. A lot
So
of them. That was
so they had Kane's back to the TV, and he pulls the mask off, and you see like I guess that was his actual hair in his head,
yeah,
and
they
they
shot
turn him
some of it,
around.
I think, right?
Yeah, it looks so fucking terrible.
Yeah, it was bad.
And it was like they had put dark makeup on his face to make him look like he was burned. But then they just decided to like 3 month rule that because like maybe like 3 or 4 months later they had him shave his head, cleaned up his face, and it was as if he never had the burns or anything. Like they didn't even try
Never
to do like
mentioned
any.
No
bad.
scars, no nothing.
No, they didn't even. I mean, if they were
Yeah.
going to, in my horror movie
They
brain,
didn't.
if you're gonna take the guy's mask off, like if you were to take Michael Myers' mask off, he better look kind of fucked up under there.
Right, right.
So they could have had at least somebody with like special effects with all the fucking money they made. They could have
Yeah.
had someone
They
do
just didn't want him
something.
to wrestle with like a prosthesis or something in case he would lose it during a
Maybe.
match, which would
Yeah,
arguably be worse, you know?
that could have been bad too. But
Yeah.
either way.
Yeah.
But that was the downfall of Kane when
They
he
could have at least had like, oh, these are the scars that are healing. Like these are the wounds that are healing, and
something.
yeah.
But even before he had the mask off, like he was doing dumb comedy bits with like The Rock. He's like, I'm gonna do all
Dancing.
my Canaanites because it was like The Rock and Hogan. And he's
Oh,
like,
Oh my God,
do you remember
yes.
that? Do you guys remember that fucking shitty
Yes, no,
promo?
I do remember that now. Jeez.
That was so fucking bad, dude. He's like, and all the Hulkamaniacs and all the millions
yeah,
and millions
damn
and
it.
all my Canaanites. And they're like, Canaanites, like for real. And then they
Well,
had like Kane do a spinneroonie. Booker T had
yeah,
Kane
I
do
mean
it.
that's so
And
bad.
it's just
Yeah,
the dumbest shit. The
Probably the
downfall of
kind of stuff
Kane.
that Mark Calloway would have refused to do, you know?
absolutely.
They
Maybe
tried
he
to
could
get
have been a
they
better
tried to
advocate
get
for
Undertaker
himself.
to do a spinneroonie. He said, "Hell no." Remember that?
Hell no.
Yeah,
They
there
tried to
was
I
get.
yeah,
He's
the
like,
love
only
that
time he
video.
ever came close to that was one of those like after Raw things back
yeah,
before he had a cell phone camera.
yeah, and he's like, "No, I'm
Well,
good."
and talking about that with Kane reminds me of the Katie Vick era, which that angle that was
We can't
actually
talk.
I
We
stopped
probably shouldn't
watching
talk about
wrestling.
that.
As a result of that, I stopped watching wrestling for many
That was
years after that. I was just like,
that was.
I cannot come up with a reason to tune into this next week, and I didn't.
I'm just gonna put it like this. Katie Vick was somebody that Triple H apparently dated in story that
Canada did.
died. That died,
Canada did. He
and
was in a feud with Triple H.
and Triple H was saying that basically like Kane committed necrophilia with this person, and they made an entire
Oh,
story
oh
on
my
that
God.
And they
necrophilia.
had a vignette, a series of vignettes during the course
Yes,
of.
I've heard about this
Yeah,
dozens
yeah, I
of times.
remember.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely, just insane. But yeah, Kane. Kane's one of those that's just sad to me. Like
yeah.
I just wish he never took the goddamn mask off. I think that was just a stupid thing to
We all
him.
would have beneficiated. In another universe, Kane never took the mask off, and
Yeah,
it is good.
in my WWE universe on 2K25, he never took
Yeah.
the mask. He's always been with a mask. Never even spoke a single line of dialogue. He has the record for being in my universe mode for 20 plus years, never talking. Doesn't need to. He doesn't need to. Why? And
Right?
to me, that's the thing. Like isn't that like, wouldn't that be just totally easy for you, the producer? Like he doesn't need to say anything. Let's go in.
Just don't talk.
Just
Well,
fucking
I mean, I think a lot of it comes down to that sort of shit that happens where, you always hear about every level of wrestling where the show is going to be on in 10 minutes and nobody
yeah.
knows what they're doing yet,
Oh God,
you
yeah.
know?
I know exactly
And
what you're talking about.
that happens at every level of wrestling
Yeah,
for some
yeah,
fucking reason. So I think it was
yeah.
probably just one of those weeks. And they're like, you know what? Let's just have Kane talk. Let's just get
Which
him talking.
leads, which I would say, Rocco, what's that horror connection? I know we've talked about Kane and Undertaker. What's a horror connection for you in pro
Oh,
wrestling?
well, I mean,
Or
for me, the
spooky,
biggest one
spook.
ever, and maybe the first thing that I remember seeing on TV that was like this, and something I always go back to, was on Memphis Wrestling, which
Okay,
was it used to be on Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock, and then they would have the WWF Superstar show on after it.
nice. Yeah.
And the
Okay.
the WWF Superstar show would always just be like Big Boss Man versus some jobber, and they would pipe in whatever the plot lines were at the time in between. But the Memphis stuff was nuts. And Memphis, they would of course have wrestling in Memphis, and they would wrestle here in Louisville at the Gardens,
Yep.
Evansville, Indiana, and then sometimes into Arkansas as well. And they would kind of like do the same show at each place.
Sure.
Uh,
Sure.
but the weekly show was filmed in a studio, and it was such a big deal in Memphis that it was the top rated show on television.
Okay.
Like literally, that was what everybody was watching at all times. And they would
Yeah.
have they would have a lottery to determine what 100 people would get to come and be in the studio. It was a big deal.
Oh
So they
wow.
had Jason versus Freddie. They had a couple of dudes, big,
Oh.
bulky
Hell yeah.
wrestling dudes,
Hell
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
couple
Hell
of
yeah.
couple of yeoman Memphis wrestlers,
Fuck
and
yeah,
they would
dog.
be
Sounds
wearing
fun.
stuff that they bought at Caulfield's, almost
Oh,
certainly here in Kentucky.
nice.
And they would wrestle each other, and
Hell
then
yeah.
after they had a big feud, they became a tag team,
Oh
and it's
boy.
amazing.
That
You got to
sounds
look
fun.
at them. You
That sounds
got to look at them.
fantastic. Did they get over?
They didn't care one lick about any sort of copyright laws or any of that sort of stuff because it was only seen on television in Memphis and Louisville and Evansville, Indiana.
Yeah, we didn't have
So whatever.
YouTube or the internet, so you get away with that shit. Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah,
Hell
dude.
yeah.
And a lot of that was
That's
Jerry
rad.
Lawler himself. Because Lawler was the people's champ in a way The Rock could never ever
Oh,
be. People
oh
in
yeah.
Memphis love the guy.
Oh yeah.
Whether he was a face or a heel, he always just
He
kind of
went
oozed
everywhere.
charisma. And he was a big
Hmm.
geek. He was into comic books and horror
Yep.
movies and all this sort of stuff.
Love
And
Jerry
he
Lawler.
also
Hell yeah.
would bring Frankenstein, the Mummy. I mean,
Yeah.
any of those types of monsters, he wrestled them at one time or another. So to me, that's always what I think about when I think about horror wrestling, especially. Incredible.
That's fantastic, man. I love to hear that. And that's,
That's
I
a
I
never knew
love
about that. I
me.
love it.
You know what? And I I love me some goofy wrestling, right? I
yeah.
just that's that to me is kind of what wrestling's
Mm.
about too, in a way, is like goofy shit. Like we went to we went to GalaxyCon in Louisville 2019 when we first moved down here. And
I thought about this too when
we
he
watched
mentioned Freddy versus Jason.
there's a company called Fantasy Cosplay Wrestling.
This was before I was into wrestling, and
Yeah,
I sat
you
and
were
watched this. It was so much
and it
fun.
was like
Excellent.
Wolverine versus like
The
Deadpool.
Oh
first step.
yeah, they had them dressed up
Shit was rad as fuck, man.
yeah, different
So
characters. It was great.
and like you said, Rocco, this took this the stuff you're talking about took place back in the day, right? So
The
they didn't
80s.
have to worry about like, oh no, it's on YouTube, so it's gonna get copyright struck or
Yeah, worse that would happen was somebody would tell them to stop, and then they
yeah,
might. I mean, they had Spider-Man. They had a guy in a Spider-Man get up. They never quite pulled the trigger on that, but there's video
that's
of
great.
Lawler cutting promos with a guy dressed like Spider-Man in a pretty good Spider-Man costume too.
It's
Like
fantastic.
they really they pushed right up against that. And I mean, that's part of, to me, wrestling, the state fair, horror movies, all this sort of low ebb entertainment is all kind
Yeah,
of part of the mind to me. Like it's
Yeah.
all sort of
mhm,
one big thing. And
yeah.
you can mash it all together into a big old stew. And it's some of the funnest stuff there is in the world.
No, you're not wrong. That's what wrestling's all
Love it.
about.
Yeah, I love it so. I love it so.
You get your genres. Maybe we can do an episode about that, like our favorite genres of wrestling. Like
Okay.
something
Yeah.
be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Raven, we haven't heard from Raven. Raven, what's like something spooky? I know that like you know, your time with pro wrestling hasn't been as long as the three of us. You're not as experienced as we are with this thing we
Right.
all love. What is something that you can tie to maybe the spooky season to professional wrestling? It could even be something like gory or brutal or
Well,
stuff.
a couple of things. One, the very first thing that ever comes to mind for me, because this was right when I first started watching it, and this was like one of the only, at the time, one of the only things that I was just like, what? This is weird as fuck. I don't really like this.
Okay.
But Bray Wyatt and the Funhouse,
The Firefly Funhouse.
Firefly
Yeah.
Funhouse.
Yeah. Absolutely. We got to talk about that. Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
I was not really into it, but I think because, I was still getting, literally this was just when I was starting to watch wrestling. And but it always stood out in my mind. Maybe because it was so unsettling. That's what it was. It wasn't like
Okay.
horrific. It wasn't gory. It was very unsettling to me. And it kind of delved into the whole psyche of the horror genre to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's very
absolutely.
mental, psychological.
Like a thriller.
Yeah, no, not a thriller. It was just very psychological. It was
Mm.
very,
Hmm.
well, unsettling.
Yeah.
And so that's the first thing I think
Yeah,
of
that's cool.
when we talk about horror and wrestling. Um,
Yeah, because you didn't get to see the previous step of the Bray Wyatt
mhm.
stuff,
Yeah,
You didn't get to
where
see
he
man.
the
was
Fiend. You didn't get to see the Fiend.
I
the
did see the
swamp
Fiend.
guy cult leader.
Yeah, that was the shit, man. That
Oh,
No,
was
I
the
didn't see all that.
the
Yeah.
old stuff.
No, I did
Hmm.
see when he came back as the Fiend a little bit.
The
This
Wyatt
was,
family.
yeah, this was not long before he passed away.
Yeah, he
But
used to not, what Josh is alluding to, he used to not dress up like anything except for just like a fucked up hillbilly.
yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was like and there again, like stealing
The
something
Wyatt
from
family was the
culture.
thing. Hmm.
Yeah, and it was the first season of True Detective, I think, was hugely influential in what they were doing there.
Oh, I can see
See,
that.
it's a very like
Okay. Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre-ish to me. Like that's the
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
vibe I get from
Yeah.
from
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
that
That
whole
was
ordeal.
good. And then before that, even like it was like they were just like a cult. They were just like
Hmm.
Some sort of cult.
something
Yeah.
a little bit more realistic,
Yeah.
like yeah.
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 I was never a massive fan of them, but like you, I really appreciated what they were doing.
Hmm.
I like that some of the
Absolutely. Yeah. Very artistic, very talented. Just not my cup of tea. But I mean, I can
Yeah.
certainly, recognize that, talent and, thought process and everything. Um, but yeah, that's the first thing I think of. And then another thing I think of is the uh, more recent connection for me is like Rhea and her love of Art the Clown and Terrifier. Like she was actually,
Oh yeah.
I can't remember the band that she went to their concert, but she actually went to their concert and Art the Terrifier like killed her on stage.
Yeah.
Um, it was Art the Terrifier, Art the Clown killed her on stage. It was pretty funny. So I mean, like I always, because she's a huge, and there are a lot of WWE stars that are really into horror and like horror movies and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But she's always, posting about it on Instagram and
Hell yeah.
sharing stories and everything, and
Yeah.
that's really funny.
Well, that also
I
brings
also,
who I hadn't
I
thought
also
about
like it
this
when
now.
Boogeyman comes out and scares everybody.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I
We're
love the
gonna get to we're
boogeyman.
gonna get to Boogeyman. Rocket. What were you?
I hadn't thought about it until just now. Shotzi Blackheart, who's somebody I
Oh
really dig.
yeah. Shotzi. Yeah.
And it's cool how they kind of gave her the Halloween season for a while. Like she would host
Yeah. Yeah.
the Halloween Havoc show on NXT, and she's still at it. Like at
Um,
GCW, she was doing some kind of
yep.
an Elvira gimmick or something that I
Fuck
saw.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Boogeyman though. Raven brought Boogeyman. That's another great one. Like Boogeyman, that character was so fun to watch. Like I
Boogeyman.
remember,
I don't know anything about his character at all, but like every once in a while, like he's obviously still affiliated and does stuff with WWE because
Yeah.
I had never even like heard of him. And then all of a sudden he's in the background of these like promo videos, like scaring these,
yeah.
WWE superstars.
So
I'm just like, what
Worms
is this?
and
What's going on?
so
That
his
was pretty much
entire
the extent of his character. There's not really much to him besides that.
yeah his
yeah.
entire shtick was like he's like I'm the Boogeyman. I'm gonna get you, and that's his whole thing.
That's it.
And when he
You
was
eat
coming
worms.
around, he'd eat worms or he'd
Yes. So
freak
the most
people out.
recent, the most
Yeah.
recent video I saw, and I didn't get to watch the whole thing because it was like 8 minutes or something, and I was at work and I just lost the video, unfortunately. But it was they were asking WWE stars what their top three favorite horror movies were, and Boogeyman was coming out behind them while they were all engaged and excited and everything, and like focused on these like he was coming
Oh,
up and
that's
like
great.
scaring them. Oh yeah, I haven't watched it all,
That's
but it
awesome.
was
I
funny.
love that.
I remember he got Charlotte and he got Damien, but I don't remember. I haven't seen anything else. But
That's wonderful.
but yeah, there was a clip of him like I was like, oh, that's he's holding a worm, and then he totally ate this. I'm like, did he really just eat this worm?
You
Like this
did.
isn't the most recent one. I'm like, he really ate the worm.
Oh, he did that a lot. Yeah,
Dude.
he ate a
That's
lot of.
crazy.
And
I
that
mean,
was
a
his
lot.
whole thing was
Hmm.
he would like find ways to scare people. He would like do vignettes with people like in the background, and he had a clock that he would hit himself with in the
Yeah,
head
he
Oh, yeah,
had
the
over
that,
clock.
that
that
he would
clock.
wear
Yeah.
around his
That was his
neck.
other character
Yeah.
trait. He would hit
That was his
himself.
other big character trait too. But yeah, he was always doing just weird shit to people. So yeah, I've met him like quite a few times. He's fantastic. Yeah.
One of those
Oh
guys in
yeah.
wrestling where it's like you just imagine him at home, and the phone rings, and it's somebody. It's an agent from WWE, and they're like, "Hey, man, you want to come in and eat
It's
some
time.
worms?
It's
You want to
time.
you want
Fuck
to make
yeah.
a
Let's
quick
do it.
20 grand?
You want to come scare some people?
Fly out to Poughkeepsie on Thursday. We're gonna have you on. Ride on over to the airport and pick up your ticket.
That's some funny
Fuck it,
shit.
why not?
But
He's gonna
yeah,
tell his wife, you know, I'm not gonna be
he is
around. I
great.
gotta go eat worms on SmackDown.
Day in the
Was
life.
there
Freaking man.
anybody else for you guys you can think of?
Oh man. So there's because clearly I'm that guy. But we gotta at least throw some shade at all of the shitty horror movies that WWE has had their hand in over the years. Um,
Oh yeah, like
Ooh, I'm
Ice
interested
Cream
in
Man,
hearing this.
like Ice Cream Man, like the one that Kane did, I think, or
that was See
See
No
No
Evil.
Evil. See No Evil. Yeah,
Yeah, Ice Cream Man is Clint Howard, and that one's a classic.
that's right. That's right.
Um, See No Evil with the Kane. Um, didn't they make a sequel to that?
I think they did. Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. Did you know that WWE produced one of the Leprechaun movies, Leprechaun Origins, and it was absolute shit. And that's
Don't
why
say
I had a really awkward moment with
Yeah. We're hearing about
Hornswoggle
How could I
at
not
Squared
have
Circle too.
thought of this or brought this up? Chris Jericho, too. Like, I
Chris
always think about him.
Jericho.
Yes, because we just
yeah.
met him. Well, Brian's, I think, already met him
Mhm.
before, but
Nope, I never
oh,
had
you hadn't? Okay, so that was a really cool experience. We met him at
Scarefest.
Scarefest.
You're right.
Thank you. Okay, I started to say it and then I was like, I don't think that's right. We just met him at Scarefest, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. And before I was into wrestling, I actually saw him on Joe Bob Briggs' segment on Shutter
Yes.
Yeah.
time. That was
Last
my introduction to Chris Jericho, and I can't
Oh,
remember
that's
what movie he
great.
was in,
Terrifier.
but it
Uh,
was
He's in
he's
Terrifier
in
2.
Terrifier 3,
that was the one that he was
the
talking
very
about.
end of 2, but he also just came out with a movie last year called Dark Match, where he
Yes,
is like
Dark
the main
Match.
villain.
Oh, that's cool. I want to see
It's a
that.
wrestling
I want to. Yeah, I get.
movie.
It
Yeah.
is one of the 31
Oh,
for 31, and
Yes.
my rating for it was
sad.
eh.
Um, but no, but meeting him was great, and I got to tell him like, hey,
Oh yeah.
it's really cool to like meet you here at a horror con because that's, that was my introduction to him. So
Yep.
yeah, I don't know
Yes, indeed.
how I didn't think about that.
Um, well, I guess we can go ahead and wrap up the show. I don't know if you guys had any other things you wanted to mention briefly
Oh
before we go
man.
ahead.
Special shout
Close
out to
this one out.
Dustin Rhodes' character Seven. That was fucking weird.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Is that the one where he like came out and like burned his entire like clothes?
Well, they made it seem like he
Or
was gonna do a gold dust thing, and then he
yeah,
didn't.
and then he came out and
yeah.
did a fucking like promo saying that he was tired of this shit
Yeah.
and he quit or some shit.
Yeah.
Very
That was that one, man.
WCW of that era.
God,
Yeah.
that was so fucking what a
Because
dark.
everyone they got in too deep and they're like, oh shit,
What a
he's a child molester. We can't do this. It was one of the things they didn't realize they were. Yeah. So Raven, basically, Dustin Rhodes was doing all these promos where he was like outside of kids' windows and just
My
like
gosh.
wearing this weird costume and had his face painted all pale and stuff. And they did this for a couple weeks before they were like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's
Then they
not good.
realized what they were doing. So
Oh my
yeah,
Lord.
they aborted that
Somebody
real quick. They were like, no
somebody under
thanks.
Turner's employ probably actually saw that and put a phone call in to
Yeah.
Eric
Kind of,
Bischoff. What are you guys doing over there?
kind of talking about wrestlers and movies again, though, too. I will forever kick myself for not meeting Dave Bautista before I was into it. But this was when, what?
mm-hmm. Good.
But remember we saw him in Knock at the Cabin Door.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That horror
The
movie
Night
he's in.
Shyamalan movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah. So Brian looked,
Yep.
sure.
gave a little head like what?
I
Why are you
forgot.
mentioning him? And I was
He's
just like,
like,
yeah,
are you going to talk about Guardians? No, we're talking about horror movies, Brian.
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
But this was,
I
of
feel like
course,
we're
we saw
missing
him at
some
a,
too.
oh, yeah, for sure. Jesse
Mm.
Ventura, wasn't he in a movie?
Guys,
Oh
how
yeah,
can we not? How
Predator.
can we not talk about They Live? For fuck's sake,
I
Roddy
know.
Piper.
Well,
I was
yeah,
just
no, the
about to
good
say
one because I
that.
was
Yeah.
talking about the bad ones. I was going to say they live,
Oh,
and then yeah, I kind of got
Oh,
sidetracked. But yeah, I
They
absolutely love
Live.
They Live, starring Roddy
Absolute
Piper.
classic of a movie. If you've not
He's the
seen it, by the
fucking
way.
man
He's
in
so
that.
good
I
in
have
that.
not seen it.
Oh,
Like there,
oh,
nobody else could have quite got
Raven,
where he
what?
got with that. You know what I mean? Like
it's
that's
good.
One
Oh,
of
how can
the
we not?
great
Wait, wait,
movies.
wait. Hold on. Time out. Talked about this man at the beginning of the show. God damn it. How can we not talk about the best horror movie featuring a wrestler to ever be made? Santa Slay with Bill Goldberg.
With Bill
I
Goldberg. Oh my
just
God,
saw this.
yes. Oh my
Just
God.
I
saw
don't.
that.
I wasn't even familiar with it until you guys brought it up.
Oh my gosh.
I know you've seen it,
I was
Doctor.
okay with that. I miss that world that I used to live in.
Are we completely out of it? We are not mentioning well, maybe not most obvious to a lot of people. David Arquette in the Scream franchise.
Oh my God.
Starts to feel like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon here, doesn't it?
Yeah. Uh,
That's a reach, but
man.
that's kind of funny. That's kind of funny. I
Now,
think that's a good
here's
one.
one, and it's kind of a B movie, but if you guys have never heard of it, I definitely recommend it. It's called Monster Brawl, and it's literally got Herb Dean as the referee between all these different monster fights. Um, it's good, but it's bad good.
Is that like what
Uh,
the whole movie is? Just fight after
yeah,
fight?
yeah,
It's like some Ed Wood shit.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Why am I
Um,
seeing a picture of Triple H with vampire fangs?
Triple H was one of the vampires in Blade 3.
That's right. He was.
Yeah,
Why did I think that was Edge?
I forgot all about that. You are absolutely
because
right.
Edge,
Holy shit.
yes, because Edge and Christian were vampires with
I
Gangrel. That's
met
another one we got to talk about.
Rude.
Oh my God.
Wait a minute. Wait a
Fucking
minute. Wait a minute. So
rude.
I
Edge
just
Edge
opened
wasn't
a
in that
whole box.
though. Are you
Just
saying Edge
unlocked.
wasn't in that?
No, no, that was Triple H.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
Paul
All right.
Levesque. I met. You need to tell
Edge
Josh.
was
You need.
in
Wait.
wasn't
This
he
is
in
the
like
Mandela
Highlander
effect shit for
4?
me because I thought that was Edge.
It
Yeah.
wasn't Edge. It was Paul
But
Levesque. I
Edge
just looked it up.
is Edge a vampire in something else?
He was in the
That
Brood, but not.
In
I don't think he was
wrestling,
in a
yeah.
movie. I don't think he was in a movie. I don't think
okay.
Edge was a vampire in a movie.
Wow.
I
Oh
will
yeah, the Brood.
I'll look this up on my phone, my cellular phone.
Well, I have 14 wrestlers who played in movies. I have
But
this list pulled up.
but
Oh,
Hulk
thought you
Hogan was in
um
another
Gremlins.
one.
yeah,
Who was?
Hulk Hogan was in Gremlins too.
I don't remember that, thank God.
And
But
Hogan
yeah,
was probably in something else too, right?
you
I'm
mean to
sure
tell me
it
when I
was.
met Triple H, I met one of the stars of Blade Trinity that worked with Wesley Snipes?
Yeah.
Forgot about that. Holy shit. All right, guys.
Well, one more shout out
Let's
for our
yeah,
horror
yeah, well we
wrestling
yeah.
episode. One more. Uno Mas. I
Do it.
was saving him for the end
Do it.
because over the years I've gotten to know this guy a little bit more and more. We gotta love Danhausen.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Very nice, very evil,
Yes,
demon
very nice.
wrestler guy.
Very nice.
Danhausen.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yep, that's his thing. So he likes toys, I like toys. So we always get
Yeah.
a moment to talk at the cons and stuff. But yeah, that was my last shout out for my favorite
There
horror
it is.
wrestler.
There it is. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this episode up of a bunch of marks. I almost called it another podcast name. A bunch of marks, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We kind of delved into the horror, the spooky connections and connotations to professional wrestling, which is what we talk about here, in case you haven't noticed yet. Whether you're listening to us on Spotify, Good Pods, where you've helped us become still a top 5 pro wrestling podcast.
Woo.
Appreciate that. Or on the Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and all the other wonderful places that you can find us at. We appreciate you listening to us all the same. If you're listening to us on over on Good Pods or Spotify, you can leave comments below this episode and our previous episodes. We'd love to interact with some of those of you that listen to us, all of you that listen to us for that matter. If you're listening to us also over on the YouTube place, you can also put comments there as well. We do interact with people that leave comments. Please follow us and subscribe to us on YouTube. Once again, we will be at the Squared Circle Expo. That is going to be March 27th and the 28th in Indianapolis, Indiana. We're going to have a booth there. We'll be there all weekend long, hanging out, talking to all of our fans. And then we have thousands of fans that listen to our show. But thanks so much for listening. All the same. Until next time, adios, you guys. See ya.
See you then.
Adios.